Beware of your sister's nature, because very soon she is. Archangel Michael says, the air around you already knows what your heart pretends not to feel. The hallway keeps the footprints of a plan that was whispered when you were asleep. The day opens like a locked drawer, and the first thing it reveals is the truth that has been circling you. She learned to smile in front of you while closing windows behind you. She learned to hug you while counting what your hands carried home. She learned to listen to your pain while holding a mirror that only reflected herself. A door in your memory swings, and you remember the first small sign that you dismissed. A missing message that never arrived, a look that lasted longer than it should, a word that felt careful like a blade wrapped in silk. Your intuition already wrote a warning across the inside of your chest. The story she tells others has your name stitched into the wrong places. The version she repeats turns your kindness into foolishness and your silence into guilt. The plot has been rewritten without your consent, and the ending she imagines pushes you out of your own house. You are not helpless in this unfolding chapter. You are not a character who walks into a scene unaware. You are the witness who finally decides to speak inside your own life. Every promise she made has a shadow that never moved at the same pace as her footsteps. Every favor she asked followed a pattern that always returned to her alone. Every time you forgave, something inside her grew stronger and bolder in the dark. Soon arrives like thunder after heat, sudden and inevitable. A voice will speak your name in a room you did not enter. A set of papers will travel across a table you thought belonged to love. The plan begins with the smallest nudge. Your schedule changes without your choice. Your friends grow distant without an explanation. Your opportunities are redirected to an address that looks familiar but is not yours. She has gathered pieces of your past like beads and strung them into a necklace that fits her story. She has studied your habits the way a locksmith studies a key. She knows where you place your hope every morning and where you put your relief every night. There is a reason the air feels heavy around names that once felt light. There is a reason your dreams keep replaying the same hallway with the same closed door. There is a reason your body pauses before every yes it used to give freely. You tried to ignore the echo in her compliments. You tried to forgive the delay in her celebrations. You tried to explain the chill in her laughter as nothing more than tiredness. The truth does not knock forever. The truth takes the handle and turns it when you finally stop pretending you do not hear. The truth steps in and sits down at your table and waits for you to breathe. She intends to stand beneath the spotlight that you built without sweating under its heat. She intends to collect the credit for seeds she never watered. She intends to move the sign with your name to a corner where no one will see it. Even now, your kindness tries to defend her in your mind. Even now, you look for reasons that excuse a pattern that has outlived excuses. Even now, the heart that always wanted family tries to make room where there is only plan. The day she prepares comes dressed as celebration. It brings bright colors, loud greetings, and a performance that seems generous. Behind the curtain, a script runs that erases you line by line. Your patience taught her the pace of your heartbeat. Your generosity taught her how far she could go without being stopped. Your loyalty taught her which doors you would never lock. Do not break yourself to keep a version of peace that is built on your silence. Do not hand over the keys to a house that your hands repaired. Do not offer your voice to a song that buries you under its chorus. Something inside you has already stepped forward. Something inside you has already said enough in a voice that trembles but does not retreat. Something inside you has already placed both feet on the floor of your destiny. Protect your name the way a guardian protects a flame in wind. Protect your work the way a farmer protects the field on the night before harvest. Protect your heart the way a lighthouse protects its beam from storms. Documentation matters in a world that forgets on purpose. Save the messages that tell the story clearly. Keep the receipts of your effort like anchors that keep the truth from drifting. Boundaries are not walls against love. Boundaries are doors with locks that respect your existence. Boundaries are sentences that end where you decide. Speak carefully, but do not whisper yourself away. Move quietly, but do not disappear from your own life. Act firmly, but do not harden what should remain tender in you. When she smiles next, you will see the shape of the plan behind her eyes. When she offers help next, you will notice the angle of the favor. When she says family next, you will hear the price of the word before she collects it. The rumor will try to run ahead of you and arrive first. The rumor will try to name you before you introduce yourself. The rumor will try to dress you in a costume that does not fit your body. Stand where the light touches facts. Stand where the timeline is clean and the signatures are honest. Stand where your work speaks without needing your tears to explain it. Every season contains a test that asks if you value yourself. Every season contains a mirror that reflects how you carry your worth. Every season contains a doorway that only opens when you choose yourself without apology. You have survived rooms that did not want you to speak. You have survived dinners that tasted like obligation instead of celebration. You have survived embraces that felt like measurements. The clock does not threaten you when you are prepared. The clock cannot steal what you have named and guarded. The clock cannot bury a truth that is alive in your hands. Her allies will appear as neutral faces at first. Their words will sound reasonable in the beginning. Their advice will steer you toward surrender disguised as maturity. Remember who stood with you when there was no audience. Remember who called your name without needing a script. Remember who corrected you without needing to humiliate you. Courage walks in small steps before it runs. Courage writes one clear sentence before it sings an anthem. Courage places your name back in your mouth and teaches you to say it without flinching. Your sister's nature does not define your future. Your sister's nature does not own your narrative. Your sister's nature does not decide your harvest. The moment arrives when the curtain must be pulled. The stage lights reveal what the dark tried to hide. The room adjusts to a new truth and learns your shape again. You will make choices that honor the child you once were. You will make choices that protect the adult you have become. You will make choices that serve the future you promised yourself on the hardest nights. Forgiveness can exist without access. Grace can exist without permission to repeat harm. Peace can exist without returning to a pattern that injured your spirit. Create distance where your breath is safest. Create plans that do not depend on those who plan against you. Create routines that remind you of your strength before the day begins. The new chapter does not need a grand announcement. The new chapter requires consistency, privacy, and a calendar that respects your energy. The new chapter unfolds like morning light across a floor you cleaned of old footprints. You already know who you are when no one is watching. You already know what you build when no one is clapping. You already know how you stand when the wind forgets your name. Let the truth settle on your skin and stay. Let the relief of clarity loosen the knot in your chest. Let the quiet after the storm teach you to hear yourself again. If she apologizes only to regain access, you will recognize the angle. If she praises you only to borrow your ladder, you will see the pattern. If she cries only to refill her bucket with your water, you will know what to do. Choose the people who hold your story with clean hands. Choose the rooms where your growth is not negotiated. Choose the days that end with your soul still intact. You have walked through fire and carried the scent of survival without shame. You have walked through silence and found your voice resting in the center. You have walked through loss and discovered a deeper kind of possession. What is yours will no longer be left on unlocked tables. What is yours will no longer be signed with someone else's pen. What is yours will no longer be delayed by the footsteps of those who never intended to arrive with love. You will watch the old pattern try to repeat itself and fail. You will watch the old map try to lead you back and fade. You will watch the old ache try to speak in quiet. Stand inside your life with both hands open to the right things. Stand inside your life with both feet planted in dignity. Stand inside your life with both eyes awake to the difference between family and familiarity. The chapter closes not with bitterness but with boundaries. The chapter closes not with revenge but with redirection. The chapter closes not with noise but with a door that locks and a window that opens to honest sky. You step forward, and the ground honors your decision. You breathe, and the room fills with the scent of new beginnings. You speak, and your words build a home that belongs to you. Your sister stands where she chooses, and you stand where you must. Your sister carries her nature, and you carry your name. Your sister writes her story, and you reclaim your own. The night will end, and you will wake without the weight that used to press your ribs. The day will stretch, and you will move without asking permission from a plan that never loved you. The future will arrive, and you will greet it with hands that still belong to you. This is not a threat on your life but a promise to your soul. This is not a curse on your family but a boundary that honors love correctly. This is not a drama for strangers but a decision that finally protects your peace. The path ahead is simple and firm. The path ahead is honest and steady. The path ahead is yours and safe. Carry your proof, keep your distance, and let the lesson finish its work. Carry your dignity, keep your routine, and let your glow return. Carry your purpose, keep your heart, and let your harvest unfold. You are not late to your own rescue. You are not early to your own peace. You are right on time for your own life. The story ends here for what harms you. The story continues there for what heals you. The story belongs now to the you who finally believes yourself. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. You rise the next morning with a steadier spine than the night before. The mirror shows a face that finally belongs to its own story. The room feels cleaner because your decision swept it. You organize your lifelines with calm precision. You make copies of what matters and place them where only honesty can reach. You label the truth with dates that cannot be argued. People who love you begin to notice the light returning. Their words feel like water after a long walk through dust. Their presence feels like shade that does not demand your gratitude. Your sister senses the shift and adjusts her performance. She circles your edges like a shopper measuring a locked window. She checks for the softness she once used like a key and finds a new metal there. There is movement around your work that no longer confuses you. There are attempts to reroute your blessings that no longer succeed. There are hands that once felt familiar now slipping off the surface of your boundaries. You write down your plan in clean lines. You choose silence that protects instead of silence that enables. You choose action that is quiet and complete. The day she expected arrives without the outcome she wanted. The curtain rises but the scene does not follow her script. The audience reads the facts before it hears the rumors. Your voice carries differently when you stand inside your own name. It does not need volume to be undeniable. It does not need anger to be strong. You decline invitations that smell of old traps. You accept opportunities that honor your time. You navigate rooms with a compass that no one else can touch. The pattern that used to hurt you loses oxygen. It tries to repeat itself and finds no stage. It tries to recruit allies and finds them unwilling. You keep your gratitude private and your progress measurable. You let your results speak in full sentences. You treat your healing like an appointment that cannot be missed. Your sister experiments with a softer angle. She remembers how tears once opened doors. She discovers that your locks no longer rust. You hold kindness without surrender. You hold grace without access. You hold peace without permission slips. A message arrives that once would have set you on fire. Today it reads like a weather report for a city you no longer live in. You file it with no heat in your chest. You claim your calendar and your attention like rare currency. You spend them with wisdom that came from scar tissue. You invest them where your spirit multiplies. The rooms that used to make you small feel unfamiliar. The tables that used to steal your appetite no longer seat you. The rituals that used to drain you retire without ceremony. You confirm your connections in clear daylight. You anchor your projects with signatures that match your breath. You secure the bridges that carry your future and release the ones that lead backward. Your sister sends a story shaped like a gift. You read the weight of it in the ribbon. You place it on a shelf that does not open. Peace is not a performance in your house. Peace is a schedule you keep with your own nervous system. Peace is a door that opens only to the correct knock. You feed your body real food and your mind real silence. You give your heart time to stretch without fear. You give your soul the respect it asked for on the night you almost gave up. The world continues with its noise and brightness. You move through it like a river that remembers its source. You carry your clarity like a lantern that does not flicker. Your sister will try one more angle, then another. Her energy will look rushed because truth outruns her now. Her influence will shrink in the daylight you chose. You refuse to narrate old pain for entertainment. You refuse to lend your platform to chaos. You refuse to audition for roles that erase you. New people arrive who speak the language of dignity. Their eyes do not search for a lever in your ribs. Their hands do not measure what they can take. Your intuition grows athletic with practice. It stretches before decisions and cools down after victories. It learns your rhythm and protects your breath. You let your home learn a new quiet. You let your phone learn a new boundary. You let your heart learn a new pace. Every step forward hardens the floor beneath it. Every small win stitches your confidence tighter. Every night of honest sleep pays an old debt. You declutter memories that no longer serve your becoming. You archive the lesson and release the weight. You keep the wisdom and return the story to the shelf. Your sister's nature remains her responsibility. Your response remains your masterpiece. Your future remains your signature. People begin to speak about you with respect that sounds earned. Opportunities begin to land with timing that feels aligned. Doors begin to open at the exact height of your preparation. You act like the guardian of a sacred library. You allow access only to readers who wash their hands. You protect the pages that contain your name. There is joy in your day that does not apologize for shining. There is structure in your week that does not crack under pressure. There is gentleness in your self-talk that does not bend to manipulation. You become the person you needed when the storm first started. You become the adult who holds the child you once were. You become the voice that says stay to the parts of you that almost left. The season changes without a parade. The sky learns your color and keeps it. The wind stops borrowing your warmth. Your sister may rewrite her script in private. She may find a mirror that does not flatter. She may meet the part of herself that finally listens. You stand without waiting for her to evolve. You stand without punishing her to feel powerful. You stand because standing is your nature now. The calendar flips and your progress does not. The sun sets and your boundaries do not. The moon rises and your peace remains on the pillow. You give your gratitude to the hours that stayed. You give your thanks to the instincts that woke up. You give your blessing to the days ahead that already recognize your name. The life you protect grows comfortable in your hands. The work you honor grows safe in your schedule. The love you cultivate grows wise in your care. Your sister remains a character in your past and a caution in your present. Your heart remains open to truth and closed to harm. Your path remains clear because you walk it with both eyes open. You do not chase closure where survival is enough. You do not chase apologies where silence is safer. You do not chase reunion where distance is mercy. The horizon you chose keeps its promise. The ground you secured keeps its strength. The home you rebuilt keeps its key under your own light. Your story now tastes like clean water. Your breath now moves like a loyal tide. Your sleep now lands without alarms inside it. You meet yourself each morning with steady hands. You greet your reflection like an ally. You organize your day like a sanctuary. The old pattern visits and finds no furniture. The old rumor arrives and finds no ears. The old ache knocks and finds no room. You walk forward and the future steps beside you. You speak softly and the truth grows louder. You rest fully and your power returns in calm waves. This is how your life continues when you choose it. This is how your name stays whole when others test it. This is how your heart remains yours when another plan approaches. The chapter extends with the grace of someone who learned. The chapter holds with the strength of someone who stayed. The chapter glows with the honesty of someone who finally believed themselves. You move through your day like a keeper of quiet thunder. Your choices are deliberate, measured, and clean. Your steps memorize the strength they used to borrow. The calls you accept are shorter and clearer. The messages you send carry only the needed weight. The windows in your mind learn to stay open to air and close to smoke. Your sister throws a charm that once worked like a key. It hits the new door and falls to the ground without a sound. You watch it rest where it belongs and continue forward. You sort your priorities into 3 simple rows. What feeds your peace lands in the first. What feeds your purpose lands in the second, and what feeds your pain never reaches the list. You keep proof where the light always finds it. You keep faith where results protect it. You keep distance where patterns repeat themselves. A meeting appears that used to make your stomach drown. This time the room greets a different you. Your posture answers what your mouth does not need to say. You refuse to explain the new rules to anyone who benefits from confusion. You refuse to translate your healing into their language of delay. You refuse to make your boundaries soft enough for old habits to pass through. There is work in front of you that glows like a promise. There is rest beside you that hugs like a conclusion. There is clarity inside you that speaks like a map. Your sister tests the edges again with stories that sound generous. The offer arrives with glitter where fine print should be. You read the space between the lines and leave it unsigned. Friends who love you begin to mirror your standards. Their presence grows more nourishing than noise. Their counsel arrives without strings or stage directions. You schedule your courage the way other people schedule meetings. You show up on time for your own evolution. You close the door when the session ends and let the lesson settle. The past tries to bargain with memory. It offers highlight reels that omit the bill. You pay attention to the full receipt and save your balance. You no longer treat your energy as if it were common dust. You treat it like a rare metal that never trades for trinkets. You place it only where returns are honest. Her silence becomes louder than speeches. It reveals the plan that smile traveled for months. It reveals the motive that hid behind familiar words.